Hello folks, welcome to another reg market analysis by Inspocrypto. Yeah, today it's again a reg market. It's a reg market with a pattern that's not new. The pattern of pivot, the pattern of I send a spot trust, not EDF, trust application to ECC. Of course, with missing information. What a coincidence. It wasn't only BlackRock, it was a queue of different appliers at the same time. In a market where obviously they misinterpreted, like Protos just mentioned. It was very diplomatic in the way, because I have my own opinion. I don't care anymore, to be honest. I really don't care anymore, because I have to say, it hurts to say what they are doing, but at the same time, I know it is required. It is really required, because it's like a loop. They are doing it again and again and again and again, and Inspo is trying to one instead of getting, hey, nice view, we should think about. No, it's like, you are denying it, you are a perma-bear. That's what I'm hearing over and over again. Over and over again. I'm really tired. To be honest, I'm really tired. That's why I'm going to reduce also my tweets. I mean, even what I'm doing it because I want to do it. It was, when you are seeing that on Twitter, and not only on Twitter, also news related to crypto are just spreading false, let us say, just misinterpretations. Even on YouTube, people, analysts, who are just using the same source, spreading, one really evil person once said almost 100 years ago, bigger the lie, more people will think it's true. That's it. I mean, was it a lie? Yes and no. Did they win a trial? No. XRP didn't, or Ripple didn't win a trial yesterday, because the trial is still to come. But that's not you, because I would even say I was the first guy on Twitter just making this interpretation. And just to quote that, because sometimes it's really necessary. I don't know why, I mean, and even then, I didn't receive good feedback just saying, hey, like I said, maybe that's another view. Instead, people, and in particular this guy, I guess you are watching it, sent me just a message. Hey, maybe now you are changing your view. That's bullish. And that's the problem. That's exactly the problem. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but when I was reading the document with the last part, the conclusion by the huge, in my tweet I just did the last sentence. Once again, let us pump with news, even it's not good or bad, but news. It's neutral. It's not saying anything. It is, obviously a judge. Oh God, that was a judge. A judge was saying it's an own interpretation, because it's a pre-trial process. Actually, where, both parties can provide the evidences, proofs, and so on and so forth. And yes, if we take the situation like it is, it looks good for Ripple. But they didn't win anything. Not yet. But we are celebrating, once again, something that's not happening. We are celebrating applications in 2021 like we did just in the past. Like it's completed. It's just, we are done here. It's bullish. It's not. I will read now something that will explain actually what is happening. And it's a quote. It's not a quote. It's Richard D. Wyckoff. Richard D. Wyckoff was a pioneer in the study of the stock market and is known for his technical analysis and theories on market behavior. Because market behavior is actually what matters. And in Wyckoff's view, the big guys, big players, have the power to influence the market in their favor. That's not new. That's 100 years old. For instance, they might accumulate a large amount of assets, let us say Bitcoin, over time without causing the price to increase significantly. Once they have built their positions, they can then start a public campaign to boost the price. He also theorized that these players may manipulate the market to cause panic selling amongst retail investors. Once the price is driven down, the institutions can then buy the stock or the asset at a lower price. We know that. That's not new. How many times was I mentioning Wyckoff? How many times did I mention manipulation? How many times I said they are using also media? I mean, it's not Inspo, it's Wyckoff. It's 100 years old. And his theories are extremely good. His patterns and how his own interpretation about the market behavior is a key changer. But does that matter? It seems not. It seems not, because since 100 years, retail is doing almost the same mistakes. And the most important thing is big players are using the same tools since 100 years. It works. It works. It still works. And why we can talk about manipulation? Why we can say the whole thing, what happened yesterday, was manipulated? I mean, people started to shitstorm ECC after their statement that they won. But to be honest, in case of ECC, that was the right reaction, because it was just showing how stupid the whole thing became. It was just also like, you are saying you won the trial? So what trial? First of all, what trial? But you won something that it didn't happen? So let us say we won. We won, yeah, we are the winners. While the people were just celebrating and spreading, the whole thing was triggered by Fox Business. Fox? I mean, you know, I'm not an American. I don't care about Democrats. I don't care about Republicans. I just care about to have a good and nice and open-minded US president that's not going to bomb any other countries or even pushing other nations to bomb other countries for their own interest. That's the only thing. That's from my German view. It's the only thing I really pray every single day that's not going to happen. So that's why I think Donald Trump wasn't that bad. Okay? Maybe it's the only part of him it wasn't bad. I don't know. But that's why, to be honest, sometimes it felt like I was the only German that was in favor of Donald Trump instead of Joe Biden, for example, or the Democrats in general. But, you know, parties, it's more an actor's thing, a person thing, and less a party's thing. Because we know other Republican presidents who were absolutely worse than Joe Biden, for example, but also Democrats. So when I see, for example, Kennedy, who is launching his campaign, I like that. I think the Kennedys could change a lot in that country. Anyway, back to topic. Fox Business. Fox News. Fox News, I think it's well known, a very pro-Republican Party broadcaster. I mean, the Democrats have a different others. CNN, I don't know, they have a big list. Republicans doesn't have that big list. But it's a big coincidence that, in particular, Fox Business started to trigger that Ripple won the trial against ECC. Is that really a coincidence? Just a broadcast that's very close to the Republicans. We know Republicans. Florida. I mean, if you check around, not only Republican members are bullish on crypto. Thanks God we also have other people as well, because it's a good thing. But you should know, Inspo, we shouldn't push forward just because we can, manipulating and scamming and pushing retail in a black hole. We should do that in a way that will have it will work in the long term, and that's something we are not doing. So yes, sometimes it feels like I'm anti-crypto. I know that, because I'm always making, or not always, but many times, doing exactly the opposite what the crypto Twitter is doing. But the question is why? Why? And is Inspo that wrong? That's another question. Is Inspo that wrong? Is he always that wrong? I mean, it's difficult to answer to that question as Inspocrypto, but I would say no. No. Maybe I understand this market behavior much better than you and many others with 200, 300, 500 and millions of followers, who the only thing what they are doing is retweeting what others are tweeting. Because the best thing is always to be part of a group. If you are part of a group, they will just everything looks and feels like family. Like, Alpha Group, we are one, we are together, we can. Yes, we can. You remember also a nice campaign slogan by the Democrats. Yes, we can. Together. Yes, we can. Inspo is, it feels like 80% is minimum, always aside and saying, stop. But not that way. Yes, we can. In the long term, we can. The technology, the use cases we are generating with this technology speaks for itself. But do we need to push with this kind of methods? Is that required? No, in my opinion, it's not. It's absolutely not. And then when I'm saying that smells like a trap, people are attacking me, just sending me DMs like, I was following you for over 6 months, but you are a permabear, you are just a stupid moron, for example. Or one even called me bitch. Well, he is not that wrong. I'm a bitch, and you are, if I'm the bitch, I'm laying above of you. However, what I'm saying is that's the big and huge pattern we have in crypto. And that many people are just making these observations from the outside and saying that this market is a clown show, that this market is pure, it's not serious, it's not professional, it's just casino, it's scam, it's fraud. It's for me really hard to say and to tell them it's not the case. We can use stablecoins that doesn't have any collateral, but we call them stablecoins, where they don't have any audits, something that should be a standard, but as long we are unregulated, we don't have, and we don't want to do that, because, well, also even that we don't want to tell you why. We have exchanges who are playing like Wild West cowboys. I mean, the list is extremely long. And I see how people who are just receiving this information, and I can understand that. That's my big motivation to keep staying here, to provide the data, to provide this information, to share my knowledge with you. I'm not doing it just to kick your ass. Since 2022, it was, I guess, at the end of 2021. No, it was actually in January 2022 when I started with this Substack analysis. But just before I was tweeting, for example. And I have explained so many times, my goal is that you understand the market like it is, and that you always make questions. Always make the question, why something is happening. Like Wyckoff said, nothing is a coincidence. When the price is pushing up that hard, like we are just seeing since the beginning of this year, that's not why they are accumulating. Usually they, like he said, they are accumulating, just spreading fear. And one indication for fear when they receive, when the fear is that high that retailers start to sell, is when you see capitulation. But that's something we didn't see. Every single time, even at 15K, every single time we did a dead cat bounce, we pushed up a little bit, people flipped immediately to bullish. Immediately. How many times we did, instead of a short squeeze, a long squeeze? Entities indicating retail just buying. Is that capitulation? Is that how it looks like? When you are saying you are stupid because you think the bottom is not in. Yeah. Because I'm convinced that a company like BlackRock, if they are really interested to jump in big, because these guys are not just buying few thousand Bitcoins. Even MicroStrategy's portfolio could be just a little drop in the ocean if BlackRock wants. Then they will not do it at 30K, not at 25K, not at 20K, not at 15K. They will not do it because they know they can go even lower. And why not? Why not doing it? Who will prevent that? Tether? Binance? Coinbase? Who? No one. They can, just like an orange and the juice, use and drop the last, take just the last drop of juice of this orange. That's what they can do. That's what big players always can do. And they will do it. That's why I'm not convinced that the bottom is in, with the whole environment around. I mean, to buy in an unregulated market, then let regulate the market, and then to sell much on upper price levels, it will be fine. But what's happening with regulation? After yesterday, well, let us say, interpretation of the facts or scenario, because that's how the judge yesterday said that it was a scenario. I would say regulation will take longer than expected. And in that case, we will have enough time to wreck people, to go up hard, to go down, and at a certain moment they will just push down very hard to buy the dip, when then you are completely capitulated. When you say, okay, Inspo was right. This market is done. It's where Inspo will start to accumulate. It's where BlackRock will start to accumulate. It's where Deutsche Bank will start to accumulate, and many others as well. At that time, it's where you lost a lot of money. I hope really you are not going to do it. Really not. But it looks like, because it's a pattern, and that's happening since 100 years, and it's still working, unfortunately. So it is what it is. And just to make it clear, I'm not saying that just because of that, don't go long, short now with a leverage of 100, because it's a wrecked market. That's not the character of a bull market, what we are doing at the moment. It looks like distribution. Yeah, they bought the dip at 15, they are distributing at the moment. That's what I'm saying since weeks. And yes, some people are saying, you're saying that since weeks. Yes, but they bought a lot. They need to distribute. It's not easy to distribute all that much, because many whales just said, thank you very much. Maybe we will see us later. 23% of big guys, big players, are sitting on cash. It didn't happen in 2022, and obviously not in 2021. But this ratio is lifting up. You should ask why that's the case. Why are those guys not just buying Bitcoins instead, Ethereums or other kind of assets? Larry Fink, that's an international asset. Okay, yeah, obviously it could be. And it is, obviously. I mean, crypto is an international asset. But we don't have the same rules in all these different nations. That's the next step. To adapt to the masses, we need a consistent framework of rules on global stage. We are at the moment far away from it. And with yesterday's announcement taken into account, that says a judge is just saying, holy shit. I mean, it's absolutely not easy, because XRP can be a security or can be not. But to say it is a security in case of doesn't work. So we are going to look forward, because exciting times are coming. And once again, I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard. I understand all of you. I really understand every single person out there. It's not easy. It's not easy. But it's possible. It's really possible. The only thing between you and me that is different is that you are absorbing the news and taking it as a true. I'm always asking if it's true. That's just the only difference, the only one. Let us check what the market is preparing for us, because it feels like they have something in their bag. And yeah, let us see. So let us go forward. So the weights ratio looks not bearish, indicating that they are not at the moment, they are distributing, but it seems only Bitcoins they sent just before, they are not sending big amounts anymore. So if we check, you remember what I said, even I'm not a big fan of it, we break this trend. So we need to see how far that goes. You can see that yesterday, for example, after they sent more bitcoins, they started to decline 33%. I mean, it's average. It's, you know, an average local bottom that usually indicates that the next trend should be go up once again, sending more bitcoins to centralized exchanges. So we need to see what's going to happen here from now on. If they are going to start to send more bitcoins, that means we can go a little bit more up, and we will maintain in the current well, I would say something like channel between 31 and a little bit more, and what was that, 28.5, 29 or something. So if we now check the weights ratio 1 hour time frame, we also see that they started here to distribute, so to send more bitcoins to centralized exchanges. Afterwards we started to decline. You can see that just before, always they distributed, they let the price go up once again. The weights ratio 30 hours moving average now is at, yeah, it break the 85. We need to see if it goes to 90. If that's the case, we should be careful here. The stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges lifted up a little bit, but not that much. And yeah, just as mentioned, we need to see what's going to happen next. We received today a little bit more bitcoins, at least that's what the net flow is indicating. And once again, also here, we need a little bit more patience and look what these guys are going to do. So if we take a look at the live net flow premium, we see that the daily is more red, even the last 7 days. But not huge, really absolutely not huge. 2,100 bitcoins, that's okay, but as mentioned, absolutely not huge. The 90 days rolling, obviously very green. The 30 days rolling, obviously very green. Here it starts to change a little bit, but also here nothing huge. And you can see that at the moment it seems they are buying, not big, but we received just before more bitcoins and they started just to sell. So everything looks like we have here our resistance, we have here our support, and the only thing is we maintain that levels here. That's the only thing. Also here nothing to see, also here nothing to see, so nothing big changed. Only ink block changed a lot because 3,960,000. So I don't know what these guys are doing. The only thing is they are indicating 4.82% declined. Also really interesting that the dominance is at 48, greed 60%, or yeah, 60%. Also not that bad. If we check here, for example, we can see that, well, everything maintains like yesterday. Well, in the last 7 days, Binance received 2.25 billion. So at the moment, 100 millions less. OKEX in this current month, 553 millions in red. Bitfinex in red. Crypto.com in red. Huobi in red. But Bybit green. KuCoin red. Deribit green a little bit at least. And well, I mean, Bitget would be the next red one. At least the last big one. And yeah, Coinbase still not activated. Unfortunately, I hope they will do that. If we take a look to the crypto weights, for example, we see that at the moment the weights are a little bit more on the side of sellers instead of buyers, so that flipped a little bit. We can also see that TUSD is playing even with 49.1%, still a very dominated. It's still a dominated actor with the BTC TUSD pair, but BTC USDT, so Tether, is lifting up, and even BTC USD. while, and also here Binance was yesterday at 90, 93, 94% or something. Now it declined by I would say 6-7% or something, and Bitfinex is receiving more whales transactions at the moment. And that's almost it from here. Let us go forward. So if we take a look here, we can see that yesterday with this push up, they liquidated 1,670 bitcoins. That's big and shorts, but at the same time also 400 bitcoins and longs. So it seems high leveraged on both sides. Anyway, the open interest didn't decline, only the leverage. So high leverage positions, they just killed them. And at the same time, the funding rate is declining a little bit while the price is pushing up. So they liquidated a lot of high leverage shorts, it seems. That's what we can see here. And that's also my main interpretation. If we go forward, I have today, it seems because of the air conditionals, I have a little bit problem with my voice today. So some of you would say, thanks God, maybe he is losing his voice finally. We can see that everything is once again on the part of the longs with 1.7 billions and shorts with 1.2 billion, so 60, almost 62, well, 59 to 41. While on Ethereum looks a little bit better with 55 to 45. Bitfinex longs 2.8 billion, so it declined a little bit, but shorts are not really lifting up. Now we will check what Kingfisher is showing here, all leverage. Let us just, come on, close that. We have 400 million, so we had yesterday 300 millions, that was the maximum scale. Now we have 400 millions, and we see low leverage longs pushed up even more with liquidation level of 21,600. It seems that many shorts are gone. We have high leverage positions. It seems between 30,100 and 30,400. So we can go a little bit more up to 30,400 to liquidate all of them. And then we need to see, otherwise we can go once again hitting 31,600, 700 afterwards to liquidate these positions here. Otherwise, it would make more sense to go down hitting 28, 28.5 to liquidate. But I mean, low leverage here for shorts 35k. Otherwise, the next bigger liquidation cluster would be at 26 almost. That's it. So let us take a look here and what is happening. 45 bears taking over. It seems the biggest gamma is at 30,250. Means we should go down a little bit, hitting 29,750. If we break this 129.5, actually that's what's indicating here. So yeah, it would be possible. But as mentioned, we need really just to see if that's going to happen. And 29.5 should be work as a support area. 29.5, yeah, why not? Would be possible. If we check, for example, the GAX, then we will see that the GAX is declining 170. We were extremely high at 320. Then it declined a lot because of the weekly expiry. And obviously now it's declining because the price is declining. That's also a different thing. So if we now go forward, we see that the max pain keeps being at 29k. And if we go forward now, let me just refresh the site just in case. And I have to say, Leviters, if you are watching, I'm sure you are not, but if you are watching my analysis, I have to say thank you very much. Thank you very much. that you fixed this problem. So if we wow, what? Oh my god. Long risk reversal. 4 millions premium USD, bear call spread 1 million, bull diagonal spread 800,000, bull call spread 770. Sounds bullish. So let us check. We will start obviously with the long risk reversal. Let us check here. Long risk reversal. Oh my god. Oh my god. So as you know, the long risk reversal, like the short, the long risk reversal, like the short risk reversal, works like along futures, indicating here we are talking about huge amount. I mean, 2.5 millions. That's crazy. So these guys are expecting liquidation level 27k, and everything above 32k would be amazing. So looks a little bit, we can go down, even 28, 27.5 or something, that would be still fine for them, but then everything is going to look serious. That's huge. That's really huge. I mean, we are not talking here anymore about peanuts. That's really huge. Bear call spread is usually bearish, but it's with calls. If we take here a look, we have here a big one, for example. They are expecting until end of August to see a price between 30, 32, usually indicating we should break 30k and then go down. That's what they usually indicates here. And that's it. Everything else not really interesting for us. So we go to the next one, bull diagonal spread with calls. Usually also this one is bullish. We take a look, we have here some big ones, for example this one, indicating until, well, to be honest, until next Friday they are expecting to see a price between 27 28, but also breaking the 28 and going up. So would also match with the long risk reversal where they are expecting. My liquidation price is 27k, so we are not going to go below 27k, because otherwise they are going to bring me a lot of pain. But then afterwards we will go up above of 32k. It's still possible. So also here that will be the next big one between 31 32, but then here we are talking more until end of September, where they are also expecting to see a price above of 32k. And last but not least, also another bullish one, it's the bull call spread. And the bull call spread, if we check this one, looks like many retailers are just trading it. Let me check here. We see, for example, 32.34 until end of next week, 32.34. So a lot of 32.34, indicating we can go more up, hitting 32.34, break 32, and then play around between 32.34. Also very interesting information, because it seems it's one and the same person, or it was in sale. Sometimes that happens, that you have a strike with a nice, I mean, it's short term, it's until end of next week. That's really a really risky bet, because the leverage of the option is starting to increase. Anyway, yeah, why not? Let them go a little bit more up, but we will go down. And I don't think it's going to be a holiday trip. So let us go forward. So if we take a look here, we can also see, for example, that aggregated CVD spot. So it means that Tether lifted up. So it was once again very well coordinated, the whole thing. Now they are just distributing more than they just bought. At least that's what the CVD is indicating here. And even on BUSD is doing exactly the same, only USD is not doing it. So indicating that people are still maintaining. Yeah, they are selling now more than buying, but if we check here, they started here to buy. They are not selling everything. Also here it looks Bitcoin collateral more short, so they shorted even more than it seems here based on the chart. So they started here, you can see, while here indicating the delta here is much bigger than on the stablecoin collateral futures. So it seems we can go a little bit more down, hitting 29, 28. Maybe that's going to end in a bear trap, and then we will go up hitting 32 like some option traders are expecting. Binance TUSD also here, for example, not distributing everything they just purchased based on CBD. The same here, that's BUSD. Well, it's not the same here. On BUSD they are selling much more than they distributed just before to push up the price. We see that Bitfinex is doing this time the opposite. Bitfinex is just buying the little dip here, doing the opposite of the market. And that's interesting because it's the first time that we have also seen that Bitfinex is taking more market shares from whales, or at least based or related to whales transactions, as we have seen with the unusual whales. If we take a look here to Bybit, USDT, BTC USDT, it's almost neutral. They purchased here, they're distributed, for example, here on Coinbase. You can see, and that explains why, for example, the USD pair is not the aggregated one, not declining like, for example, the Tether one. Also here Bitstamp, well, Kraken looks a little bit different, not that bad to be honest. And yeah, then we have Gemini is lifting up, and then we have here once again the whole chart only with perp, and in that case is BTC USDT on Binance. But also here you can see some liquidations here at 31,200, for example. Well, not just few it seems, but that's almost it. Now we go forward and check as usual here our lovely entities, and we start with retail. That's just lifting up. Retail is just lifting up. These guys are maintaining. These guys well, reduced a lot their balances. Now they are lifting up a little bit. These guys are not doing anything. These guys lifted up a little bit. That's while these guys declined a little bit. So everything unchanged. Now we go forward and check the stablecoin flow activity here. We check here, for example, and we can see a lot of green, but nothing huge like we had here before. That was looking like a big cash out, and now everything looks relatively, well, quite 80 millions peanuts usually. Oh, maybe no, even here doesn't look that big. If we check here with Tether, they started to send just close before we declined. For example, here that was the biggest one with 50 millions. Then here I guess something like 43 millions, and so on and so forth. Then they cashed out here on the top before we went down. On USDC, for example, you can see that they pushed. So yesterday's it's also very interesting. Yesterday's push up was mainly, it seems, driven with USDC. Oh, okay, also interesting. Well, BUSD, they are still trading with BUSD. You can see that they were here also doing their stuff while cashing out to the upside before, and even close before we now had our dump. Yeah, that's almost it. We see that funds also increased a little bit their balances by 600 bitcoins, so not big. The trend here is still in favor of futures volume, and that's it. Let us go forward. So if we now take a look here, we see that Coinbase is blocking at 32K, for example. We also see that they are just absorbing here. It could be also spoofing. I mean, they reduced here a lot of liquidity here as well. Now it looks more, you know, the next step would be 25K, maybe here a little bit 28, but they are just absorbing, it seems, here and that part. Just close before the POC, close below the POC. Usually we should go up to retest the POC. That means at 30,570, and then we need to see if we go down once again or up or whatever. So Bitstamp, for example, is doing something similar, it seems. They have a little concentration at 29.5, reduced here some liquidity, and now shifting a little bit more to the downside, but nothing big. BTC USDT, you see here the box once again. I mean, that was a bull trap. Then afterwards, now they are blocking at 31, at 30,600, where I think we should go up just to retest that area, and then we need to see once again what's going to happen. They are reinforcing now 29.5, they are reinforcing 29, they are reinforcing 28.5, and they are still waiting here 28. That looks for me a solid, to be honest, a very solid area where we could go if that everything is just spoofing. At the moment, I'm not not receiving any signals that they are sending big amounts of bitcoins, but the net flow is at the moment really hard to use. So yeah, Binance BTC TUSD also here, for example, you see they are waiting here 29K. They are also here at the moment blocking at 30,200, but also here at 30,700. In my opinion, we should go up here 30,600, and then we need to see. You can also see what they are doing. Yeah, this market is in hands of retail, obviously. BTC BUSD. Also here reinforcing now, also 27 here, for example, still maintaining. So it looks like DCA or just blocking, maybe only just spoofing. That's the big question once again. So we need to see if that's everything, and then afterwards and over the weekend we will go back to 32,000. Wouldn't surprise me at all. BTC USD on Bitfinex, where we see that, for example, Bitfinex, we're here 28.5, and that's it. OKEX spot, nothing. Kraken looks, it's a mystery. It's really a mystery. They were always blocking to the downside. They are not doing it anymore. KuCoin waiting at 29.6. And that's no, and BitMEX, well, BitMEX changed a lot, nothing to see here. So Bitget derivatives with BTC USD, where they are, oh, you have seen that was spoofing, for example, just at 30,600. So yeah, on Bitget, nothing to see here. That's BTC USDT on Bitget. Now BTC USDT on Binance, where they are at the moment just waiting, for example, here at a level of 29.5, and also here at 30,500. So once again, we should retest the POC and maybe then go down once again. 29.5 looks, well, here they, for example, they just open, they remove liquidity, would even let the price go down a little bit lower. That's BTC BUSD. Now Bitfinex derivatives. Yeah, nothing to see here. And Kraken futures, also nothing to see here. OKEX futures, wow, I'm not sure, to be honest. But also here it looks, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if a lot of spoofing happening on OKEX. You have seen here a lot of spoofing. KuCoin, they triggered here the long order, for example, 30k, and would wait here next 31.3 to short again. And the last one is Deribit, and Deribit shifted a little bit. Their long positions now at 29.8, so also very interesting. So we need to see what's going to happen here, but 29.5, it's something, you know, it matches to the gamma. It matches to some option traders from the last recent days. So yeah, why not go down to 29.5? Would be possible. So if we take a look here, once again, you know, everything on the 18 hours trend line, for example, chart looks very similar. But if we take a look here, it doesn't anymore. So it's going to be very interesting what they are doing if they are playing this here, and we are lifting up, and then we break here, and then we go, for example, at 27 or a little bit more up than 27. You remember 27.5 would be still possible, because if we lose this one, that's the main POC right now here at that level, and the next one would be at 27. So, but obviously we could stop just before, because we have a solid support area here, 27 to 50. So just because of this trader who just really with big money, we're just expecting to see a price above of 32k, but a minimum price, so maximum, because that would be the liquidation level of 27. Well, we are still here on track. We still are playing around between 32.8 and 27.5. We still need to see what's going to happen next. It's for me still unclear. The market is in full manipulation mode. You can say whatever. I know some analysts are saying, well, it's absolutely clear. We have here double bottom, here double top. We have here a pineapple with two orange formation. Yeah, okay. But fact is, they are using and doing everything to convince retail that's really fucking bullish. I would be careful here, and we still need to see. In my opinion, we need to go down. We will go down, but it's taking time. It's taking a lot more time. And yes, we can go first hitting 23.8 as just mentioned, and then go down to 27.5, and then we need to see if we are not going to break and going even more down then afterwards. Big love, guys. Enjoy your weekend. We will see us next Monday. By the way, I will pause over the weekend because it wasn't possible in the week. So big love. See you Monday.